Hey, crypto heads, it's the Goose with the Cryptic Paranormal Show. Down below me, co-host Michael Heisenberg. What's up, buddy?
What's up, everybody?
Can you hear me? Don't play with that tonight.
I can.
Wait, can you hear me?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
We
Can you hear
can.
us?
I can hear you guys.
I played with something after I did that, and I was like, "Oh man, I hope I didn't screw something up."
Right? And then we have Denise D Unit in the house with us tonight, as usual. And then our special guest, Mr. Daniel KLAES. Oh, he's down there. There he is. What's
Not
up,
so
sir?
special.
Well, you're special to us, big guy.
Oh, thank you. You're all special to me too.
Actually, I only had him on because he owed my kid $50 and
No.
$50.
No, there's nothing of me owing money. That was using the money from the event to take the kids to Disney.
My daughter, I swear to God.
That was hilarious. I mean, even to this day, it's funny.
I know we lost Eisenberg. All right, well, he'll be back on eventually. He's constantly having issues.
He always comes back.
No matter how hard we try, he always comes back. But yeah, a couple years ago, I've actually been getting a lot of memories coming back up from Facebook about the Goose Project MS event from a couple years ago. And Daniel had asked my daughter what we were going to do with the money that we were raising, and she right away told him that we're using it for a Disney trip that we were planning.
Oh my God!
I was so embarrassed, but it was funny. I mean, she was what, like 4 or 5 years younger, so yeah,
that was a while ago, but it was still. It's funny, like it's like the kids say the darndest things type of stuff.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
It was good.
She's 10 years old now, and she hasn't really changed a whole lot.
No.
Never know what's going to come out of her mouth. It's funny. So how have things been for you, sir, with this whole pandemic thing going on? It's been kind of slow. Are you finding more work to do at Hinsdale House?
Oh, yeah, I have a lot of work to do. I've been able to get a lot of projects done that I probably wouldn't have been able to get done had I been on the road and going to events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Finishing up my next book, and then a lot of projects at the house as far as upkeep and upgrades and stuff like that. So and then as soon as they allowed people to come outside with masks on, it was like everybody was crazy. I was getting like 4 or 5 days a week of teams coming in, and depending on what King Cuomo says, depends on who can come from which state and stuff like that. So as fast as the events cancel, somebody else picks up another event. So I mean, we're going like 4 or 5 days a week down there. I had to hire like a cleaner to come in and sanitize the house, in between guests coming in, and just trying to take all the precautions that we can, even though it's in the middle of nowhere. Right. You still want to try to sanitize and try to make sure everybody's safe.
Oh, sure.
So.
Yeah, and it sounds like New York is pretty crazy about who they're letting in right now.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's really unfortunate. Well, I guess I see it both ways, but I think that we're all adults too, and I think that I think we all know, what's good for us and what we're trying to do to help other people, and if somebody doesn't have a mask on, you don't feel comfortable, don't go buy them. I think we all have enough common sense where we can make decisions for ourselves on how we're going to live. So it gets to a point where it's like, how much do they really want to protect us, and how, are we going to be able to use our own free will to live? Because it's like Cuomo just came out with stuff today, and I don't want to get this into a politics thing either, but it just kind of bugs me a little bit. Like,
wait, what did he say today?
Today you can't dance in clubs. Today you can't dance at weddings. It's like they're really nitpicking on things. You can't go have comedy shows. I mean, how is sitting in a room laughing bad for people? And just some of the morale behind it. It's getting a little out of hand, I think. People have done what they were supposed to do. Our numbers are really low. Now let's just play it safe until we get a vaccine and go from there. Don't nitpick everybody. So.
Yeah, as much as I'm trying to be careful, and I wear my mask everywhere and I go. It's starting to everybody's morale is so low already with this. Yeah. Now you're taking away our social gatherings. I mean, we could have those and still be safe. And it's just, it's crazy. I know my kids talking about Disney a couple minutes ago. My family loves watching the Disney travel vloggers on YouTube. I mean, that's what they watch. And they're going back into the parks and showing what is proper, how things are going with how they're handling the pandemic at the parks. And they're getting on people for yelling and screaming or like laughing out loud because they're afraid that they're pushing out more bodily fluids while they're screaming on rides.
Oh my goodness.
And it's like, wow. I mean, it's just so. I understand the thought process behind it, but it's just like, how do you tell why to go to the park then?
Exactly.
Why not just stay home and be completely confined and going crazy? Because I know it was driving me nuts for the couple of months we were quarantined.
It really was. And I don't know how, and I'm going to keep a sane mind with the kids being home. Like I know every place is, I mean, I know as my wife's, she had to work at a dental office. So she's going in and doing emergency surgeries and all that type of stuff. And it was hard. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It was hard trying to be a teacher and work. And I know a lot of people have the same feelings that I feel. On one hand, it's like you want your family to be safe. On the other hand, it's like I'm going to go insane and rip my hair out. Like, and then nobody was prepared for this. Nobody. You don't have the resources. My teaching was going online on YouTube and finding videos on how to do algebra again. Like it's crazy. Like I haven't done algebra since 10th grade, and a lot of it was common sense though too, but still, And
a lot of what they're asking us to do is common sense, and it does make sense. But and a lot of it it makes sense, but we just got to be careful and be mindful of others, and
I
we're
think
going to get through this thing.
As adults, we should be able to do that. We don't need somebody holding our hand along the way. And if God forbid something happens, we have to take responsibility for our own actions as human beings. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to hurt anybody. I don't think that's in anybody's intentions when you wake up in the morning. Maybe there's a few crazy people, but I mean, but for the most part, you don't wake up in the morning and thinking, I want to hurt somebody or I want to get somebody sick. Who does that? So
no. All right. Well, let's change the subject. Back to
wait. Let's not for a second, because I am actually going to Hinsdale on Saturday. So I need to make sure that my travel restrictions are all right. So I wanted to hear
they are.
Ohio
is in the green for the governor of New York. So you're okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I will be there Saturday.
I don't know about you though.
Oh, no. not Akron, Ohio. Everything else is all right.
Akron, Ohio is out.
Okay.
That little black dot in Ohio. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, there he is. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Welcome back.
I had to reset my Wi-Fi.
Hey, boss lady Kate.
Hey.
Your chair's a little like.
No, and our friend Jason Brock, he's making a good point. We're not trying to be. We're not trying to be anti-maskers. I wear my mask. We're doing it.
No, not at all. I think it's important to do it, and I think, but I'm just saying. I
agree with Jason completely.
Yeah, I just think we as adults, you're told to do something, then we should be able to do it. We don't need to be slapped on the hand every time that you forget, or if you go down. I see people getting all bent out of shape when somebody doesn't look at the floor in Walmart and walks down the wrong side of the aisle now, and it's like, it's gonna take people time to get used to it. It's like putting a new stop sign at the end of your street. You have to get used to that and not just run the stop sign. Yeah. So I'm all for taking all the precautions, I bought this giant gallon of hand sanitizer. I got extra masks for sanitizing, and I want everybody to be safe as possible. I just don't like being, every little thing. Like you can't go to, like I said, a comedy show. You can't, you can't dance at a bar. You can't dance at a wedding. It's like,
like,
are they going to have police to come out and stop you from doing that? I mean,
I
don't know.
the comedy clubs that are like, tables where you sit at a table and have dinner, like, I don't think that that's different than dinner. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
that's where it gets hard. I totally understand the restrictions and I feel like they're needed, but I feel like sometimes they counteract each other or, contradict each other. And that's where it starts to get hard.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's not the message. It's just the way it's being. Oh, we lost Daniel. What is going on tonight? My
I don't
goodness.
know.
It's like just a whole of web problems. So hopefully, oh, there he is.
Yay.
Hopefully we can hear him now.
Yeah, we're still good.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I was just saying it was like it's not the procedures, like you said. We're all learning through this together. We're all trying to get our bearings and get through this, and it's not really the message. It's sometimes the daily upgrade. Like with us, it's Governor DeWine. Constant, like every day we hear the updates. Some of it we really need. I mean, I need to know. I know Denise, you need to know what's going on with the schools.
Right.
We need updates with it constantly.
Yeah.
And it's like within the last month, what our kids are doing for school has changed.
We still don't know when my kids start on Tuesday.
Yeah.
My oldest started he's in a career center as well. So he's like half the day at the career center, half the day at the high school. He started the career center this week on Tuesday. And the other ones go back on Tuesday. I have no idea what they're doing. No idea.
The thing is the information is somewhere. It's just we have to find out where the information is that they're putting it. They've got to be putting it somewhere. And I know, like, with my kid's school district, the superintendent's doing a lot. He does like a live stream, and it's in the middle of the day when we're all working, so you have to go back and watch the live stream and hopefully your questions answered. But they put a lot of stuff on their website, and right now, it's your guess is as good as mine on some of this stuff, but
luckily our school district has been pretty informative. They've had a plan from the start, but it's constantly changing. It's been back and forth with the levels of, there's like the red level, which we were at, and then we dropped to orange. So then all of a sudden everybody's going back to school every day. But then the Summit Board of Health came back and said, well, hold on. We want to make sure everybody's 6 feet apart, not the original 3 that we were, which is fine. Like just hold on something so we can get our kids back into learning. I mean, I'm fine with them being at home every day if that's the way we have to go. It's just wanting to know what they got to do.
Yeah.
But right now they're going to be going 2 days a week and then 3 days at home. So, with that, I'm worried about them. I mean, I have anxiety about everything.
I mean, I've seen some school districts in the South that have opened up already that have shut down again already because of one little outbreak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
right. Our friend Tina, our teammate Tina, found us finally.
Hey, Tina.
Love you, Tina.
I didn't know we were lost.
And let's see, our good friend, my coworker, and one of our favorite fans of the show, Lacey. Hello, how are you? And we got Eddie, our buddy Eddie Pence. What's up, dude? But so. Denise, you're going to Hinsdale this weekend.
I am. I'm so excited. I've never been there before.
What kind of questions do you have for Dan about Hinsdale?
What's the safest, quietest room? Because that's where I want to go.
No. I would say maybe a tent. Your car? I don't know.
I thought about it.
I mean, I've stayed in a tent a couple of times because Para Expeditions, we have a camp out there every year. We canceled it this year, but we'll have it next year, and it's different outside than it is on the inside. I have not for this. I dozed off. I was doing a private tour a few weeks ago with a small group, and they were spending the night, and I was on the couch. We were getting really good spirit box communication throughout the night, and it got to a point where we were tired. So I tried laying down on the couch, and I actually closed my eyes, and then I felt something on the back of my head just go, like I'm like, and I'm not one about getting touched, and very, very rarely happens to me. And I always ask, why does everybody else get touched, and why don't I get touched? And I'm laying on the couch, and it felt like something just kind of brushed my hair like that, and I was like, and I turned my head very slowly because then nothing was there, and then. It was dark. It was completely pitch black in the house, And you know those little like night lights that you put up and they just turn on when it's night out or dark out. So I had one of those on the wall, and I look over at the night light and I see the reflection up on the ceiling, and I can see an arm, a shadow, an arm on the ceiling, like literally 4 feet away from me. And I go, Kaylee, she's over on the other couch. I go, Kaylee, I know you're not asleep yet. She goes, what? And I go, look over there. She's like, oh my God. And she goes, your wife's not going to kill me. And she jumped over on the couch with me. And it happened. It stayed. This shadow thing kept going back and forth in the living room for like a good 25 minutes. And I was like, oh, it's just so hard for me to sleep there because as soon as you get your eyes closed, something happens. You'll hear something, footsteps, and then that shadow figure that we were seeing, I was like, holy cow. You know,
I'm definitely bringing it
to but I wanted to know who it was.
Yeah.
You want to stay outside with the puckwudgies.
The puckwudgies.
The puckwudgies?
Well, there's these, you guys all know Jeff Fent, right? So Jeff was there a few years ago, and he was taking, he was really infatuated with the outside of the house and the hill. So he came and he was just taking some raw pictures, and he was using different light spectrums in the forest at night and taking these pictures. And he caught a picture of a creature that we can't really explain what it is. It looks like a face of a monkey. It's got a tail, long fingers, and the best explanation that I could get is from a shaman who said it was a puckwudgie, which makes sense because it's a creature that actually protects Indian burial grounds. And it's an amazing catch. The dandies that lived there in the 70s talked about these creatures on the outside of the house that they didn't know what they were. They thought they were half human. They're like, so they're there, and you go outside and you always feel like you're being watched. You always feel like there's something there. And this thing was 10 feet up in the tree, and he caught it with like a red light. You know, he was flashing red light into this forest, and then a couple other teams have caught it as well. There you go. See that?
Have it.
Yeah.
You can see it like his head peeking out of the left side. It's crazy. It's easier to see if you blow it up.
If you want to sleep with those, pitch a tent.
I really wish that we would have had you on next week, not before I go to Hinsdale. Oh, shit. Okay.
But yeah,
I'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's died, so you're good.
I mean, puckwudgies they protect things.
Yeah, but they're not. I mean, just reading like the mythology on them, they're not something you want to confront. They are a protector of Indian burial grounds, and you know, if you mess with them, they might screw with you. So,
okay.
Yeah, they're known to be. From what I've read, they're known to be pranksters. Kind of.
Yeah.
They will. Mischievous. Mm-hmm. Good call, man. Good word. But I mean, if you're not bothering them, I'm sure they'll just leave you alone. It's probably
you're gonna want to be outside anyway, just to look at the sky.
No, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Well, you'll see many. Like I just interviewed a neighbor, and I was doing an event, and I saw these two lights in the sky, and they kind of zigzagged, and then they went off together. Like it was pretty neat. So, you know, we've tried to do like SETI meditations. We've tried to do like things that maybe could communicate with aliens as well out there, because the dandies talked about an alien spacecraft in their backyard when they lived there in the 70s.
Like they saw it flying, or
like they saw the lights coming through the window, like that close to the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Everybody thinks it's just the house that's haunted, but you have a whole property that has just a plethora of different kinds of. You got cryptozoology with the puckwudgies. I've heard of people tracking Bigfoot around that area. I know.
They've got Bigfoot casts of big feet.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
It wasn't just Dan walking around outside without shoes on.
During the first overnight that we did, we had the Center for Cryptozoology there, and they were showing us how to do like calls and tree knocking, and it was a pretty interesting night because we had a tree actually tip over while we were doing that. Like something pushed a tree over, and it was It was pretty crazy of a night. Pretty crazy.
Was it while you were making the noises and stuff?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was in a distance down the road a little bit, but it was like that just got pushed over. That was a tree that was up. It was pretty neat.
You didn't hear chainsaws or anything. It just got pushed over.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Hey, Denise, a fun thing to do, I did it, is walk down the driveway all the way to the road with no flashlight.
No.
Yeah.
I don't go anywhere with no flashlight. You know this.
Oh, he scared the shit out of me. We all met there when we were investigating. We had one person left, and she was getting lost because it was dusk, so it was getting dark. And once you get up there, you start losing GPS signal pretty quick. And weaving around. Be careful. Hopefully, you're going like during the daytime so you can find your place.
Yeah, we are.
Find place, okay. Because you're literally driving up through this hill like mountains. It looks like almost like to me, it reminds me of like the hunting cabins that I used to go to.
Yes.
But you're kind of driving around through these, and like you make a sharp left turn, and look like you're just driving out into the middle of a field. You turn right, and there's this house at the end of the road, and it's just like whoa. It's like seriously out of a scary movie. It's awesome. But we're waiting for our friend to show. She's like calling us, trying to get directions, and we're like, it's the only way we're going to be able to see her is if we walk out to the street. Well, Heisenberg took it a step further. He starts walking down the street, and dusk is like full on. It's like you could barely see, and this heavy fog just comes in as he's walking down the street. And I wish I had it on camera. I seriously thought that was going to be the end of Heisenberg.
No, he does.
It was like straight out of a horror movie. It was horrible. I was scared, but then all of a sudden you see these like lights, just like real light coming through, and then just full beam, and it's like, oh, there she is, and he's in the car with her. And I'm like, thank God we didn't lose it.
You said you heard a voice down there.
Yeah, I heard a voice while I was walking down there.
Yeah, well, did you say it was a little boy or something?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
it was a kid. I couldn't tell if it was a little boy, but it was a kid.
We've gotten a lot of interaction with a young boy. A lot of teams have, I have so much as far as like what teams have, because like when you go, I ask everybody to write in the book if there's anything that happened,
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much interaction with a young boy. A lot of people associate it with a kid that was killed on a neighboring property that was killed by a buzzsaw, Alfred Warren Emerson. So fun fact, I interviewed a family that lived there prior to I'm really trying to dive into what happened before the exorcism. What happened to other families that lived in this house. It couldn't have been just the one family. Other people had to experience things. So I interviewed a family that lived there in the late 60s. And the daughter did an interview, and she talks about her father, how it was wintertime. He took a snowmobile, thought the ice was completely frozen. So he drove it out onto the ice and cracked through the ice, ran back to the house to get his uncle. And they pulled the snowmobile out of the ice, but when they turned around, he saw a man. It looked like a man in overalls with boots, a woman in white, a young girl, and a little boy. Like, is this a family? Is this the woman in white that was hung? That everybody thinks that, there's that story that they had in the 70s of the lady that was hung, committed adultery, and was pregnant. I mean, there's just so much more to dive into there, and that's kind of where I'm going with it. And if people were experiencing things before the Dandies moved in, then there's got to be more to the story. There's got to be. I really want to be able to pinpoint and give Clara a reason of why this happened to them.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. But the house itself, I mean, when we were there, we just learned so much. And there's just I gotta wonder if it's the house itself or if it's the land. Just because there's so much going on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it could be both. I think it is both, actually, because, I feel like that house has a lot of energy.
Yeah. I felt for sure vibrating when I was laying in the upstairs bedroom floor.
Yeah.
It felt like the house was vibrating.
Greg and Dana Newkirk went there with Haunt Me Crew, and they filmed a couple of episodes there, and they really, if you haven't seen those episodes yet, I'd recommend watching them. They kind of went a different direction. They kind of went at it as though the house was its own entity, and got EVPs when they asked to speak to the house. And they, I don't want to ruin what if you haven't seen the episodes, but they actually did an EVP session saying we don't want to speak to any entities, we just want to speak to the house, because everybody always says the house this, the house that, like you're like it's a human, like you're speaking about a human, and they got some awesome evidence, and it was pretty cool.
That's such a cool idea.
It is, but I've always felt that, like even with like Madison, I feel like Madison itself, the building. It vibrates just this weird energy that I think is probably what contains all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. It just soaks it in. And
I always say that Madison gets, she gets whatever she needs. If she needs something, then she'll make it happen. Or if she needs a person, she'll make it happen. She'll make it so you have to come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's such a cool concept.
Daniel, we were talking to Amy Perry Lane a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We were talking about the House of Wills. I think that's where I first met you.
Yes.
Yeah. That house has a crazy vibration or energy there. What'd you think of?
I'm interested to go back there. I mean, that was the first. That was kind of like the first time that not the first time, but it felt different than normal investigations. You could just feel the history in depth there, and I don't know, it felt like there was so much going on in that building, and I'd like to go back and see. I haven't been there in a few years and see how the improvements that they've been able to make. I know that they've been able to clean some of it up.
Eric has done what he can so far. He's got a different group of people helping him with the actual paranormal groups coming in. So that's helping him raise a little bit of money. He's getting a lot of what he's able to make is people coming in and paying for the building to do photography shoots. Just because the scenery is even in its abandoned state, it's beautiful. It's just like Johnny Jew has done several shoots there. It's an amazing building. Yeah. We had a really good table tipping session there with Barb St. John.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever participated in something like that too.
Yeah, and actually Jason Brock, who was on here earlier, was there. Amy was there. It was an interesting table tipping session. It was just a little folding table, but Barb had us kind of bop into some Motown, because the building was owned by an African American gentleman during that time. That would have been popular music.
Yeah, it was definitely a smart way of going about it.
Yeah, so we're all singing, bopping, and singing Motown tunes, and I'm looking down. I'm like looking around to see who's pushing this table, because it's literally on a foot, like back and forth, just like on one, and like it was crazy. And I got the worst headache right after that. I had to like walk out of the building and like ground myself. I don't know if it was just the energy like we were feeling through the table tipping session or something trying to make contact with me afterwards, but that was a crazy night.
I also had like an audible sound come at me twice up in that area where they say the hospital rooms or the medical rooms would have been. Yeah. That startled me quite a bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The House of Wills is like the truest form of what I would consider like a Scooby-Doo mansion.
Yeah.
Just like you walk through it, you could get lost in there so easily. Because you have these offshoot rooms, you go down some steps, go up some steps over here.
You feel like go down a couple more steps, you feel like you're in catacombs. I mean, it's like it's crazy.
It's ridiculous. Make sure I'm not missing anything here.
Hayden Trent saw a shadow figure there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
All the people that are watching right now, at the end of the show, anybody that shares this feed, I am going to pick a winner for a free Hinsdale shirt and get in contact with you. So if you want to share the feed.
I shared it.
Well, then you might be able to win a free Hinsdale shirt. I'll put everybody's name in a hat and pick a winner.
There you go.
I shared it too, I think.
You think?
I mean, I got all these shirts that I was going to use at cons and stuff this year, so just blow them out. Here, we'll just blow them out on the Cryptic show.
There you go. Awesome. So you heard that, everybody. Start sharing and win one of those shirts.
Where can they buy a shirt if they want to?
DanielClass.com. I have like a merch store there. But there is stuff that you can only exclusively get at the Hinsdale House. You have to come to the Hinsdale House in order to get certain merch, like certain hats and certain T-shirts. I only have available there, so you'll get to see them.
Nice. I'm so excited. I'm seriously so excited.
I got to make it another reason to go there, because you got to get the special shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not here for the ghosts. I just want a shirt.
Right? I just want my shirt. All right, bye.
That's a long drive for a shirt, man.
Yeah. Like 2.5 hours.
Will make it worth it,
Yeah.
But it's a good drive for a ghost hunt.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm excited.
You seem to just kind of push forward, the 5 hours, 6 hour drive. No big. It's like you think about it in your head like a half hour when you're going ghost hunting. No big deal.
Yep.
But if it's like for something else, it's like,
Yeah, no.
Now the drive home. That's the problem.
I packed my CPAP machine and I pulled over at a gas station and I took like a 5-hour nap.
Nice.
Like I wasn't making it home that night. It was
I pushed through, man. I made it home.
Yeah, you lost me. I was trying to follow you through the woods to get out on the main roads, but it was so foggy. I got turned around and ended up having to turn around and like just figure my way out. But I caught up with them for a little bit on highway. Yeah, it was
a good
bad.
end to the night.
Yeah, like this is where it all ends. This is how it ends.
I was thinking at least I got to investigate first.
Yeah, right. Hey, if you're gonna go down,
right,
that's the way
afterwards.
to do it.
Right.
Yeah. So walk us through a little bit the history that you know of Hinsdale House. Like we've talked a little bit about the Dandies, but like before them, just give us like a little bit of history lesson if you could.
Well, the house was built in 1853. The Everett's brothers built the house. And it's funny because there's folklore about two brothers that lived at the house that would kill and murder and rape and steal people coming in off the stagecoach trail, and then bury their bodies out in the hills on the property. And eventually that's something we're looking at. We're going to do GPR. We're going to have the ground looked at. I mean, look at all the different aspects of what could possibly be there. Yeah. But it was built in 1853, and I don't want to paint these guys as murderers because just looking at the history of them and their family, they seem like just good old iron workers. One ended up moving to Davenport, Iowa. It's so funny that I realized that when I was in Davenport, because I was doing some research on them in my hotel room. I'm like, holy crap, the guy's buried right here in the city. Pretty neat little deja vu. And so the family, it ended up being passed on a few times, and then the McMahon O'Brien family took it over, and they were there for a big chunk of the time. I've actually been in contact with some of those family members as well. Awesome. There was an Indian massacre. Obviously with the whole colonial things, Indian massacre that happened in town. The town of Hinsdale was burned down at one point, and then everybody went to Olean, and then they had to rebuild the town of Hinsdale. Bringing up Jeff Fent again, we were renovating the bathroom, and how he does a lot of wonders with wood. So I was trying to save him some nice pieces, and I sent him the wood, and he gets in contact with me about a week later, and he has cut it, and inside of the wood was a shard of a bullet stuck inside of the wood. Yeah. Wow. And I thought, wow, that is so cool. Like that could be like Revolutionary War. It could have been harvested from a tree, then used to build the house. I mean, how neat is that?
Wow.
I mean, there are stories of being shot in the basement, but obviously the way we dated the bullet, it has no bearing whatsoever to those stories. So it's probably Revolutionary War, and it got lodged into a tree somewhere.
That's still really amazing.
So cool.
We would have never found that because you know what? Some of that wood would have probably been just thrown into the fire or something, So it's like,
right.
And I know when he came and he's like, I had all this, what do you call it? The slap board or whatever, the little boards and I had all that in the fire. And he's like, would you mind if I took it? I go, have at it, and he built me this amazing box with that. And it's like my favorite box of his to use.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
so it's just amazing what he does. But
He does incredible work.
yeah, so then in 1960, or it was like 1967 or 1969, there was a barn also on the property. It was originally 100 acres. The barn mysteriously burned down. Some of the on the right side of the pond, I don't know, the last time you were there, it was probably pretty hard to walk over there. But we've actually found the aquifer on the hill, and we have a tunnel. Well, I don't even want to call it like a sewer line, one of those sewer pipes.
Yeah.
At the beginning, we found where the aquifer, so all the water is going through this tunnel underground to the pond, and we got that all dried up over there, and we actually bulldozed. We find like clay pots.
Oh, cool.
Really cool, like artifacts. We found pieces to history from the town of Hinsdale, like a milk bottle, and it's some pretty cool stuff. So that's actually all dried off. We've actually leveled that, and we're gonna put some grass seed down, and you can actually walk over there now, which is pretty neat. We actually uncovered part of the foundation of the barn, and we've been able to start doing some EVP sessions and things out there. And one of the EVPs I got probably last month. So, why did the barn burn down? And it came back and it said insurance. I was like,
Nice.
You want to tell the truth now, do you? Huh?
Right. That is.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Insurance.
I've had members of the McMahon O'Brien family come to the house, and they showed me pictures of what it looked like, and that I'm just finding more and more as far as like the history goes of the land and the property and families that live there, and it's just it's a crazy place. I don't know. It's like I always call it like a giant puzzle, just as you put a piece in, you find it, you need two more pieces, it's
right.
Like the story just keeps on building,
Yeah. You figure out one new name or you figure out who somebody is, and then you realize they're related to 4 other people. So then you got to look up those people, and it's never ending. It's fun though.
It is. It really is. My plan is to, and we're getting closer. My plan is to add 2 cabins on the right side of the property. One for teams to sleep in that are, some teams don't like this, like we'll go to a hotel or something because they don't feel comfortable sleeping in the house. So if at the very least, it'll be like a base camp area for teams because just the noise quality when you're there, just having a place to go, not sitting in your cars while your teams are investigating, stuff like that, especially when it's cold out. So we'll have like closed circuit TVs in there with all the cameras in the house that you can watch. And, that'll be if you want to sleep there, if you just want to set up your base camp there. And then the other cabin will kind of be like a museum area. All the history, artifacts that we have that we can put on display. So it'll be cool that have all that at the team's fingertips when they go there.
That'll be really cool. That'd be amazing. We got Tori Smith asking a question. She wants to know what is your favorite historical event, or perhaps the historical event you find the most interesting
from the Hinsdale house.
From Hinsdale House, or just in general.
I mean, historical event. I mean, I don't know if any of it's really history besides for people in the paranormal world. But there's interesting stories and folklore. I don't want to say that some of the actual deaths that occurred on or close to the property are interesting, but I would probably say the first time that I ever felt like a calling. It's weird when you start doing something and it feels right, and things just keep falling into place for you. You know what I mean? And probably the first time that I started exploring other stories besides the Dandy family, besides for what had happened to that family that lived there. Yeah. And that I felt like I had a connection with other residents of the house because there was videos out at the time. And the Misnick family lived there. They're an older couple in the 80s, and they were the last family to live there. And I had a K2 meter in my hand, and we're just asking basic questions, filming ourselves. All the electric was out at the house. There was no reason for the K2 meter to be going off. And this was probably weeks away from the house being torn down. You know, all the electrical was pulled out, all the duct work, toilet, nothing was working. So I ended up getting this reaction when I started mentioning flow, and I felt like she was there with me. I continued to ask questions and get responses from her. I asked her if she'd hold my hand as we go up the stairs, and my K2 meter stayed lit in my hand all the way up the stairs. I had the goosebumps up my arm.
Wow.
And I knew then in the back of my mind, I said, I needed to try to save this place. They're trying to tell me a story. It's trying to, because this is, in my head, I'm like, this is the first time I've looked outside the box and this is what's happening. So I need to see if there's a possibility that I can get more and try to save the house. And it's just amazing how it happened. So that's kind of like my personal event, if that's,
that totally counts.
Perfect. So off the subject a little bit of Hinsdale in general, we'd like to pop in with just the paranormal questions. What is your opinion on the Ouija board? What is our opinion on the Ouija board? So I guess, Daniel, you're our guest. You can go ahead and answer that one, and we'll chime in after you're finished.
I mean, I have like 26 of them.
Okay.
It's not. I think it's just because of the curiosity behind them. I don't think there's anything negative associated with the boards. Personally, I've never. I feel like if you know what you're doing, you know how to open and close a session.
Yeah.
And you're not using them frivolously. It's just like any other type of communication that you're trying to do. It's just another avenue or another aspect of investigating. It's just as easy as saying that there's a psychic there, or you're using a spirit box. I mean, you're using that to try to form communication, and as long as you're not invoking the spirits to enter your body, it's moving a planned chat with your fingers on it, and you're trying to get answers. So that's kind of my whole thing with it.
Heisenberg, your opinion?
It's kind of along
Larry King.
It's kind of along the lines of his. I think it's just another piece of equipment, or if you want to call it that. You use it correctly. I think it's fine. I just think it's another way. It's just another thing in your arsenal.
Right.
What about you, Denise? Same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to mess with it, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see anything.
Tim
I
Shaw
think
left you a Ouija board at the Hinsdale house to use this Saturday.
Thanks. I'll get right on that.
Tim Shaw left a Ouija board there for her to use this Saturday.
Oh yeah, there is a Ouija board there. We didn't use it, but I was thinking about it. My opinion is I believe they work, and I believe it's a good tool.
Yeah.
I've never used one myself. My problem is more skepticism in myself, not the board.
Yeah.
It's going to be me like somehow answering for the board. Not really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like with like dowsing rods. I have a pair. I just got a new pair.
Yeah.
One on the internet.
Oh yeah.
But I'm afraid it's going to be me that makes them cross. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's
I feel like all of those are the same. The Ouija board, the dowsing rods, the pendulums. It's all just a way for them to channel through you to communicate. So I mean, I feel like if you're going to be okay with one of them, you should probably be okay with all of them, because it's all the same thing.
Nobody asked me. I have an opinion.
Hey, what's your opinion?
I think that my opinion of the Ouija board is more based on the fact of the negative connotation that you get from like all the horror movies that I've watched and things like that.
Right.
Because I think it could have been anything that if you put it in a horror movie, then people are gonna think
exactly.
like, you're bringing an evil spirit. But I think it's just like anything. You invite something in, it can be bad or it can be good, and you just have to make sure, that, like you said, like making sure that you can kind of close off that communication as easily as you bring it in. But I think a lot of the negative does come from my horror movie binges that I've watched and stuff. And even though you can tell me 100 times it's not, truly an evil object, I still view it that way. But that's
because that's what you've been told. I mean,
because that's what I've learned growing up watching, scary movies is, But I do think that, like you guys said, it's a communication device, but you just have to. You could get evil spirits no matter what tool you're using. It could be anything. So you just have to be careful.
She won't let me bring one in the house though.
Right. No, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I know that there's not anything wrong with it. I'm just not going to do it.
She'll allow spirit boxes in the house?
I don't do spirit, I do nothing at my house.
No.
But you allow them in the house. You store them in the house?
No.
In my house at all.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not saying investigate in your house. I'm just saying store them.
Like have them?
Don't use them. Yeah.
We have recorders.
And we have recorders and stuff, I guess. I think my thing is I don't trust
What are the intent of the recorders?
Daniel, we didn't invite you here for your logic and good points, okay? We don't need any of that.
I have to bring a Ouija board into the house and not use it. So, I mean, if I thought it could sit on my game shelf and be fine, like that's cool. That's one thing.
As long as you're not using it, right?
I did have one in my house for a long time. Actually, do I still? No. I did have one for a long time. I'm not gonna play with it.
Right.
It'll stay in the box up there. It's fine.
Right.
But I always found it amusing though, the people like the teams that always have the Ouija board with like the no sign on it. I'm like, but you're kind of doing the same thing. Right. Aren't you asking questions and asking them to come through like your EMF detector, or you're asking questions and recording them you're holding the recorder while you're asking the question. There's physical touch there. And
but they're not using your voice to do it. I think that's
I mean, I understand that. They're not using your body to answer, but I mean, it's in general kind of the same thing. I mean, a little bit. But
I think, like she said, that I think a lot of the negative connotations come from the scary movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Stories. You know what? My mom always told me stories about Ouija boards when I was growing up. You know, that was one of those things that you don't ever touch it. You know, she told me stories about a friend that threw it in the fire and then it was sitting on the table the next day. You know what I mean? Like, there's just always stories like that.
Yeah.
And nobody says that about, they don't say that about recorders or, EDIs or anything. So
I'm not throwing my recorder in the fire. No.
No,
I was actually pretty surprised. Like, my wife she believes in the paranormal, but she's like to the point where she wants nothing to do with it. Like she's just, you stay over there, do your thing. Don't bring anything home.
Yeah.
Don't bring it in the house. And I was surprised when she actually bought me the Stranger Things Ouija board. Because
that's cool.
I just had to have it. It's just a cardboard with the letters and the lights and stuff on it. But I still haven't even unboxed it to use it. I'm like, maybe I'll take it out in an investigation and we'll try it out at some time, or I'll bring it up to Madison and we can try it out some night. But yeah, I was surprised when she bought that for me. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
She's opening up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have a Ouija board room anytime soon, but
right.
Yeah. Hinsdale girl, is that Vicky?
No.
Okay. I don't know why I thought it was Vicky, but she asked what our. Okay. Oh yes, that's right. We know she's watched the show before. Mm-hmm. Hey Michelle. She wanted to know what our favorite piece of paranormal equipment is. Dan, what do you use the most? What's your go-to?
I probably use a cross between like a recorder and a K2 meter. Usually at my Geobox, I like to use too. But I like to experiment with the different spirit boxes. Like if somebody invents one or somebody comes up with a new idea, I tend to order one right away and then experiment with it just to see the types of different reactions you can get. Yeah. So I'm becoming a hoarder of spirit boxes, but I use them all. I do use them all. I just acquired one of Frank's boxes, so I'm excited to use that.
Oh, original Frank Sumption box.
Yeah.
Wow. What number?
Let me look. I don't even really know. Hold on.
He's really gonna go look.
That's awesome. Frank Sumption was a really interesting dude. He's the kind of the one of the first like real box builders. But the thing was, he actually built them, I believe, to communicate with alien life forms.
It's a low number.
Oh, really?
It's box number 50.
Yeah, he numbered his boxes when he would build them.
Wow.
Wow, that's so cool.
I've used it a couple times, and it's been pretty awesome so far.
Yeah. I know Jeff Fent just acquired one. Our mutual friend, Dan Cassidy Nichols, had one. I don't know if she still has it.
She has the one of the TV boxes.
Yes. Yeah, it's got a little TV screen in it. Not really sure 100% how that works, but
I think
they're really cool.
The theory is that the spirit's supposed to be able to manipulate the static on the TV screen to form images.
Oh,
actually see the spirits.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So kind of like a poltergeist thing, you know?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'd like to see. Cassie and I have not had enough play dates. The only time I've been able to meet up with her at the Knickerbocker for events, but I was either a part of the event or helping out. So we're always both so busy.
I was just over at her house a few weeks ago. She
yeah,
did me over.
Awesome.
And had a couple glasses of wine and shot the crap.
Oh, you could say shoot the shit. That's fine.
Shoot the shit. We shot the shit.
We're not that kind of show, Dan. You're fine.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of questions for you.
It was nice to get on her good side because she didn't like me at first when I bought the house. And
there was some contention there around the history of the house.
I think it was a matter of her getting to know me and understanding that my intention wasn't to give misinformation out, and that the story will be able to get better and better as we go.
Sure.
But I thought her research was amazing, and I just wanted. I just kept pushing it out to her, saying, I want to speak with you. I don't hold any grudges since you put out an article about me, and let's talk because I love what you've come up with, and I love the history that you came up with. And eventually, she came around because Clara had a request for me, and I was actually able to open the door for me to speak to Clara. And they finally knew what my intentions were. And she goes, I hate to say this, but I actually like you, she said. And I've actually uncovered stuff that she hasn't known. So that really gets to her.
Oh, I bet. If it's one thing, it's her research. But she's amazing with it.
I mean, my God. I got her to go back to the house too.
Wow. She told me she would never do that.
Yeah, I got a picture with myself with her in front of the house, and she's like, "You're really going to make me do this?" I'm like, "Yes." Because if I don't get this picture, there's no way to prove that you're actually here.
Right. I love Kat. She's been a friend of mine since I started this a long time ago. Friends online. I've only been able to meet her a handful of times. It was always at the Knickerbocker Hotel, which is an amazing place. Which actually they just donated. An investigation to MadCon, so that'll.
Yes.
Oh man, MadCon 3. There's some awesome prizes coming up.
Wildwood Sanitarium donated a night too.
What's that?
Wildwood Sanitarium donated a night.
Yes, that's another.
You're gonna laugh money.
Yeah.
I'll be there on Friday.
Yes, you will.
I got a wild weekend planned.
Oh, Dan, I made the mistake of saying that you owned the place last time you were on, but you're very involved with the upkeep or the work going on there, correct?
Yeah, I'm just trying. My friend Lori actually owns it. Lori Ann Wagatha and her daughter Brooke, and they actually came to my birthday party, my 40th birthday party, and we're talking about buying the place, and asked me, about my expertise with the Hinsdale house, and I said, yeah, man. I said, I'll help if we got to get this place renovated. I'll do whatever I can to help promote the location. I mean, it's a given because it's so close. I mean, you got Rolling Hills Asylum, you got the Hinsdale House, and then you got Wildwood Sanitarium, all within an hour and a half of each other. An hour. And I said it would be awesome to be able to market the locations together for teams that are coming out of town, because who wants to drive 7-8 hours and do one invitation and turn around and drive all the way home? But if you know, we'll give discounts to people that want to book weekends at Hinsdale Wildwood. You know, so instead of paying $600 for both of them, you get to pay $5 if you book a weekend or 2 days in a row, and try to hook people up and entice them to come in and actually do 2 locations. So it's been working, you know, and we've gotten Wildwood on Paranormal Lockdown. We've got Wildwood on America's Most Terrifying Locations. I've been talking to Dakota, hopefully trying to get him to come down and use that location for his show too. So hopefully that'll happen too for next season.
That's awesome.
But she's an awesome, you know, the family's amazing. They're such good people, good-hearted people, the type of people that if you needed them would be there for you in a heartbeat. And they were there for me. You know, they were there for me, helping with the Hinsdale house when I first bought it, painting and doing what they could do. And that's before they even owned the Wildwood Sanitarium. If you look at the pictures when I first bought the house, there they are standing. They're helping out, you know, and they would come to ghost hunts when I was just when we were investigating locations and doing public events and stuff in Buffalo, and they were just good people, and I will step up to help them all the way to the end, you know. And there's it's a lot though, because it's hard enough to run one location properly. So we actually have Souls Gate Paranormal. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that team from Buffalo. They've really stepped up to the plate a lot, and helping out with the finances and doing all the finances and stuff like that, and keeping everything on the up and up. And starting to see, you know, we've raised, since in about a month and a half, raised about $5,000 for that roof, which is amazing. Yeah. So, I mean, it's good. It's we'll
really
get
good.
there.
And see, that's, you know,
always like the best to really first start off, because those are usually, you know, if the roof's bad, there's going to be issues all over.
The roof's gonna be at least 30,000 probably.
Oh wow!
I mean, it's one of those old, you know, all the different peaks and angles, and and
it's probably going to be a complete rebuild almost, I would imagine.
I would think so, because there's a couple places where water seeped through, so I'm sure there's probably bad wood underneath there that needs to be fixed. So that's why we're predicting on the high side for it.
Sure. Yeah. I would definitely too. That's a lot of work. I mean, that's a very intricate architectural building there. It's beautiful. And I'm so glad that people are helping out. I mean, you know, sometimes as paranormal teams, we get a bad rap for what we do, but there's so many good groups out there that are putting so much work and help, you know, volunteering, and it's not even about the ghost hunting. It's about
history,
saving these historical locations. It's good stuff. A buddy of ours, Brian Baum from Bearded Paranormal, had a question for you. Dan, favorite location other than Hinsdale?
Man, I don't know. Wow, there's so many that I've been to that
it's always hard to choose.
It is hard to choose. It is hard to choose. You know, I'm gonna say maybe I'm gonna go down to Ohio. And I'm trying to think of the location. It's an old theater down in McConnellsville, Ohio.
Twin City Opera House.
Twin City Opera House. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That place is really cool. We had experiences there that just unbelievable experiences there in that little basement area. We actually got a full body apparition on camera on the stage where you can actually see the fingers go like this around the curtain and the head peek over. And what have you guys been there? I'm trying to think of the guys the who was the guy that worked there his whole life, and he was the bellhop. Miller? Was his name Miller?
Do you remember? I've never been there yet myself.
I'm trying to
I missed that.
There was a guy that started working there as a young boy and stayed with that theater until he passed away, and I think his last name was Miller. And we put that up to the actual picture in the lobby, and we thought that could be him, like looking at us, like, what are you doing up on the stage, type of thing. It was pretty cool. But that's an amazing location. I know the UPP run tours and events down there all the time, and I would check it out if you're in the Ohio area. I mean, it is a low COVID state right now, so I mean, go to Ohio.
Yeah.
Be careful in the Twin City Opera House, because an opera house or a theater, so the acoustics are so great there that you could hear people in different places of the building.
Oh,
this is true, but that's
sense.
why. But they do let you have it exclusively after like the movie. So if it's just your team, if there's for me, it was a situation where we only had like 5 people in the whole building, and it was
nice.
like really cool.
That's
so
a good number for that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I unfortunately missed that trip with our team. I don't know what was going on that weekend. Maybe I was on suspension that week.
He was probably at Disney.
Right. If I'm not ghost hunting, I'm at Disney.
Actually,
Right.
One of these days, I will be ghost hunting at Disney.
Yeah.
The Cinderella's castle.
Yeah. Let's see. Somebody had a question here.
I forgot. Somebody wanted to know Dan's thoughts on the SB7. I remember that.
I mean, I think that's probably any paranormal investigator's first spirit box, and I feel like with spirit boxes, you become one with them, and I think it's a useful tool. I think that it can work well, but I think there's other spirit boxes that enhance the sound better now, like where it cuts out some of that static. But I don't think it's a bad tool. I think it's a decent tool to have. But I always say when you're using the SB7, always have a recorder handy, because it's best to record what's coming out of it, because going back and listening to it usually gets you the answers that you want. But yeah, it's a pretty good tool.
All right, this is
like it better than the 11. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen people use the 11, and it seems like they have to fudge around with the settings too much to actually get it working the way they want it to. Let's see, Stacy. Hi, Dan. Love Hinsdale. Last time our team was at Hinsdale, we were just setting up, and there was a large bang in the floor in the kitchen. Felt vibrations from the bang. Is something you've experienced or had someone else experience?
You just said that you were upstairs and you felt the floor vibrating. It does happen. I know Joe Pierre's been there doing lives, and it's happened where the floor vibrates, and I don't know if it's something that's residual, because they talk about when they did the exorcism in the 1974, how the whole house shook, like you could feel the whole house shaking, and I don't know. I mean, it's other teams have felt it. I've felt it, and I don't have an explanation as to why it does that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a sturdy old house. It's not tipping over. It's nothing's going to happen to it. So unless somebody's underneath the house, like in the crawl space underneath the floor, I mean, and they're not. So
that's cool.
I highly recommend the basement for you, D-Nice. That's where I got my EVP. I can't remember what it was, but it was a good one.
Yeah.
It was a good one. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Check it out. Shelly will be with me, so I'll be brave. I promise.
I can't remember the context or the question, but I know it was a direct answer.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was a pretty awesome night. And then, when we weren't ghost hunting, we were enjoying that beautiful sky. It was just amazing.
Oh, it is.
It was a meteor shower that night.
Yeah.
Every now and then you can see the space station go by. It's pretty cool.
Nice. That's really cool. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody's questions here real quick.
Don't forget, people, to share the stream.
I saw a message from Tori. Can I ask her question?
Yeah.
Yep.
Tori Smith, she said, I can't help but notice the McMahon sign in the background, Dan.
Yes.
You have to let us know who your favorite wrestler is. Curious minds want to know. So that's the original McMahon sign back here. It was given to me by Paul Kenyon, who was there during the exorcism of the house. The reason they took it down is because they wanted to thwart people from actually coming to the location in the 1970s. So they, didn't want people coming up there. So they thought if they took the sign down, that people wouldn't be able to find the house, because you have to go down McMahon and then take that left, hang that left. So he actually gave that to me, and now they've since replaced it because I asked them to. So because so many people were just driving by it or going up the hill, and the town of Hinsdale and Cattaraugus County has been amazing as far as like paving the whole hill. Just used to be a dirt road, and they paved up the whole mountain to McMahon Road, and they put up some signs and stuff. So so that's really cool. My favorite old wrestler or new wrestler, I don't know. Like my favorite old time would probably be Brutus Beefcake. Strutting and cutting. I don't know. My favorite new wrestler, like that's on TV right now. I don't even know. Let's go with Brian Cage.
Okay, there you go.
Pretty cool. He's on AEW right now. AEW.
See, I'm not up to date on my wrestlers. It's been a while. I don't think I've really been into wrestling since WCW and the NWO days.
Yeah, I mean it's something I've always liked to. It's been something I've watched since I was a kid, and I enjoy going to the shows, and it's cool. It's cool to actually meet some of those guys. You know, like you'll go to like there's a ice cream shop here in town in Williamsville, New York, Sweet Jenny's ice cream shop, and they sponsor to have the wrestlers come there and sign autographs and take pictures and stuff. And you know, there I'm walking in getting a scoop of ice cream and hanging out with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, you know. And it's like there are people that I used to freak out when I was a kid if I just tapped them on the shoulder, you know, like here I am having ice cream with them. So it's cool, you know. It's
hold his ice cream up like this to go put the tongue head out of the side, walk around.
Oh yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage was one of my favorites.
Right? There you go.
He was mine. I've got to meet his brother at an event, and he let me put on Macho Man Randy Savage's Hall of Fame ring. Leaping Lanny Poffo is his brother, and that was like an honor to be able to have a picture with myself with Macho Man's ring on. Pretty neat.
Chuck Banks says, "Ask Dan if he misses Iowa."
Always. I'm Iowa deprived right now. I at least go to Iowa 4 times a year at least, and everything's been canceled. And I was supposed to have Iowa coming to me this Sunday. Madison Smith was supposed to be coming to do her rescheduled event because her original event was, you know, she made it all on the news here and everything because she was in a sold out event, and then we moved it to March. Or wait, what is it right now? August. We moved it to August, and it was supposed to be the Sunday. But the problem is that the governor is, if you're coming from a restricted state, which he says is a restricted state, that you have to quarantine for 14 days before you come in contact with somebody. Yeah. So there's no way possible or feasible for her to be able to do that.
That's what we're nervous about.
I would hate to be somebody from Florida traveling to New York.
Right.
Because I know Florida, you have to quarantine for I think a week or two before you're allowed to travel, leave the state.
Yeah.
And then you get to.
And when you come back.
Yeah.
So you're on 36 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's almost
42.
For me to go to an event in a state that's quarantined is just not feasible for me right now because I'm going to be, I'll be done. I'll be out for 2 weeks and I can't do that.
Yeah.
And I can't be around my family, and I can't, I have an event coming up, one that's still scheduled right now for Texas. And if I have to go to that event, then I'm supposed to quarantine for 2 weeks when I come back, and it's just not feasible, and it's,
Texas is on your list?
Most of the states are on the list except for Oregon is the only state on the whole West Coast that isn't on the list. And Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, a couple of the northeastern states, and that's it, going up to Maine.
And we've been on it, but we just got taken off on Tuesday.
Yeah, I was
last
so happy.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was because I was worried about the event in September. Like, how's that going to work?
Right.
I'm really excited about doing it. And I was like, when Ohio came off, I was like, yes, this is going to happen.
Right. Yeah. We just got to keep our shit together so we can stay off of your list.
No funny business, Ohio.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to go on quarantine until MadCon.
Right.
That may help.
Yeah. I told my boss I'm going to work from home until MadCon. He's like, "What the hell's MadCon?"
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. You don't even work here.
First rule of MadCon. Everybody talks about MadCon. That
right. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, it is going to be good. All the events that I've been to one of Adam's events, Randolph, the first one there, and it was amazing. And hopefully they can get where are they at with the funds right now? I mean, I think they're going to go over like 10 grand or something like that if we can.
I don't see why we wouldn't. I think we were at 6,400 last year. So
we just got to have
with
an
the amazing. Yeah, with the prizes that are coming in and the fact that they opened it to you could buy tickets online for the raffle, like I don't think there's any reason we can't get over 10,000 this year.
You can buy tickets online for the raffle?
Yes, go online.
I need to start reading my Facebook posts.
You should.
That means we just have to have a $4,000 weekend. That's it.
Right, exactly. And that'll be so easy.
Awesome. It's a great cause. I had two cousins that passed away from cystic fibrosis before I was born, and I know my grandma always talked about them, and she always had a picture of them on on her desk. But I know the treatments changed since they were young, but it's still a great cause.
Yeah, they still have a lot of work to do, but they're making huge strides. So that's good.
Yeah, and this has been a very successful convention for the last 2 years. Well, I guess 3 technically, if you can. I mean, Randolph was technically the first one.
So. Randolph had 2. They had 2. They had 2 there.
Did they have 2?
Yeah, and then they had 2 at Madison, so that'll be 4.
Gotcha. I never made it out to the Randolph ones, unfortunately, but I always watched from afar and donated what I could from home. But MadCon 3 is going to be awesome. That's coming up. What's the date again, Denise?
September 19th.
September 19th. Mm-hmm. The private ghost hunts are both sold out for Friday and Saturday nights.
I saw that.
I'm not sure if we had to do smaller groups this year. But regardless, those are sold out.
Those are sold out, but the convention on Saturday is still $5 a person to be on property, and there's going to be all kinds of awesome teams, awesome guests.
Yeah,
Daniel
so
will be
much
there.
Stuff going on. We'll do tours of the building. There's tons of vendors. Yeah, it'll be good.
And we're going to be safe and have some fun.
Yes, absolutely.
It's going to a good cause.
Yep.
If you guys have any more questions for Dan, let us know. We'll try to get them out to him. Somebody was asked something about body slamming or getting body slammed.
Oh, yeah.
Where was that?
See if I can find that.
I didn't know that. Oh, look at the goats in there. Hi, goat. I haven't seen him in a while.
This one?
I was wondering if you knew somebody with the goat. I didn't know what that was in reference to.
Jeff Talon. That's from the Bel Air house. That's
the goat. Oh my gosh, yes, the goat. I'm sorry. I know.
I'm usually the bad one with names, but I can't.
Well, I think it's because every time I see him on Facebook, he's referenced to as the goat. I don't think I ever knew his real name.
Right.
Just like as of recently. Yeah, I know. As of recently, everybody's like, "Who the hell is Ray Gooseby?"
Right.
Like, Facebook got me all screwed up. I couldn't log in for like 2 days because they said they wanted proof that I was who I was. The only way that I could still be the Goose on Facebook is if I provided them with very personal information, and I wasn't doing that. So I gave in and gave them my Christian name.
Yeah.
So like everybody, who the hell is Ray? You're not Ray. You're Goose.
I get a message from Ray, and I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Oh, Facebook.
Still getting used to it.
Facebook, good for so many things, so bad for so many other things.
Right. Here's your body slamming question.
Yeah, Deborah Richards asks, has anyone else been body slammed with energy like I was by Willem? Who's Willem? Not sure.
Well, Wilhelm is the name of one of the spirits inside of the Hinsdale house has been named. Okay. But he tends to come across as kind of the negative energy that's there, and that's the name that he's been given by many people, many teams. I know Joe Pierre's gotten that on his spirit box before, Wilhelm, and that name was actually there prior to me buying the location as well. But yes, many people have felt him for sure. There's been people that have actually had to leave the house because of it, and that's usually my recommendation You know, if he starts to affect you in a negative way, is to try to not acknowledge him and leave. Because generally, if you stop for a while, then he goes away. If you stop acknowledging him, some people will go there and call him out. Which,
not the brightest idea,
right?
Yeah, no.
What is the name? Yeah. I can't remember. There's a name of a spirit that we were told that we had to say his name correctly, or we would get very negative responses. And I can't remember. Do you, Mike? Who is it?
Frederick.
Frederick.
Something like that. Frederick.
And Hinsdale, you guys were talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, Frederick is one of the Man O'Briens from that era, but I didn't know anything about not saying his name right. Maybe that's something that happened with a team that was there, or that I didn't know about, that he got mad or something.
Can't remember who the lady was that we met when we were who let us in that night.
Michelle, was it?
Billy, possibly. I think it was Michelle. Mm-hmm. She was the one who.
By the time
I'll have to ask her.
Yeah. You guys showed up a little bit late, but yeah, I believe it was Michelle, who told us that somebody got a couple teams that were in there were calling them by different names, like different versions of Frederick, and he was not happy and caused some havoc. I don't know. We tried, but we started getting crazy EDI hits when we did. So we backed off. We're like, okay, we just wanted to see if we were just testing the waters. But I want to give a shout out to you, Dan, from Tori. Her next post was, I don't want to hijack the show, but I think this is worth it. Yeah. She just wanted to say, I wanted to give Dan a huge thank you for participating in the Paranormal Relief Project. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. That was from Tori Smith.
Of course. Glad to be a part of anything positive in the paranormal. I'll always go to back. So people try to make a difference. They've made a difference in my life. I will try to help make a difference in theirs if I can do anything. You know.
That's awesome.
Richard had a question. Richard Neal asked a question about something that was happening in his dreams.
If he could touch,
if he was touching things in his dreams, and with me working with now past psychic Bernice Golden, she taught me a lot about dream interpretation. And generally, when you're feeling, and this could be a lot for anybody, but when you're feeling like you're touching things in your dreams, it's a situation where that's meaning that you want to try new things, or you're feeling kind of boxed up, which that could be a lot of people right now. Like,
that makes complete sense.
Boxed up, so you're touching things, so you want to try different things or go try some new things. So maybe it's a sign that you need to go try some fun things or do some different things in your life. Get some excitement or do some things that maybe you've been wanting to do that you haven't done again. Try to check them out.
Awesome.
Make some plans. Do it.
Yeah, right. We'll do that. He also wanted to know what our thoughts were on Annabelle. I'm assuming it's the doll the Warrens confiscated from the big case. I like dolls.
I heard Annabelle escaped.
Right? Somebody just told me that. I didn't.
Oh no. Well, I guess there was a big old dramatic thing between our boys Zach and Tony Sparrow, who has the Annabelle right now. But there's a little back and forth between them. I don't trust either of them wholeheartedly, but I don't know. I think Annabelle could be the real deal. I don't like dolls, period. I think they're all demonically possessed. So, every time I look at a doll in the eyes, I'm like,
I'm telling Maddie you said that.
I've told Maddie to her face. I'm like, listen, Maddie, you're possessed, and I'm not playing with you. Sorry.
Leave me alone.
And she just looked at me like.
And then her head fell off.
Yeah. And her hair fell off.
Her head fell off?
No.
Oh.
No,
I bet you would have loved that.
No. No.
There would have been a lot of cussing.
Yeah. Right? I don't think he would have come back.
What do you think, Dan? What do you think? What are your thoughts on Annabelle?
I mean, I've never got to. I mean, I'm just going to go by their word at this point as a respected paranormal researchers in the paranormal. I've never got to actually be around the doll or do my own investigation, but I show respect to them for what they've done in the paranormal field, and that's kind of my take on it, as I would anybody else. You know, it's a situation where you either going to be that person that's going to try to debunk everything by science without doing your own investigation, or you're going to respect what's happened with somebody else, then hopefully have your own investigation of your own at some point.
Right.
And that's kind of what I feel about it. The whole crap that happened with Zach. I mean, I couldn't believe he took that route. It really baffled me, but I don't know Zach, and
right.
I don't know why somebody in that stature where you are would take a route to try to do that, so I don't know. I don't know what the gain was for just adding more attention to what's already there. So
right. Somebody had a question in there. Shoot, maybe I missed it.
No, there's a lot. So.
No.
Darren?
Oh, here. What's that?
Darren?
Oh, Darren. That was it. Darren's one of our biggest fans. We love him.
Cool.
Said, hey, Dan, do you remember being at the old Licking County Jail with Terry and I, and the guard door opened in front of you and I? That was crazy.
Yes. Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty awesome. You heard that little? I'm like,
yeah.
So I've been there a few times, and that place is pretty cool.
Yeah, that place.
Yeah, we were supposed to go back there in June, and obviously they're still not open for tours or anything yet.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah. Tori had a question, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
Have any of you been to the Haunted Hill House in Mineral Wells, Texas? It's been blowing up in the internet lately. Just curious of your thoughts on the activity if you've been there. I have heard a lot about it. I have not been there.
Yeah.
It's on the bucket list.
Nor have I.
The forever growing daily bucket list of places
right.
I want to go. And it's growing more and more because I have nothing to do but research places I want to go to instead of going to them. So
maybe you'll make it though.
Yeah. Yes, I mean that's my retirement plan, whether my wife knows it or not. Once
with or without you, honey.
Yeah. If I haven't been to them by the time I retire, that is where we will be going. We're selling the house, getting an RV, and traveling the paranormal highway.
I want to be there when this conversation goes down.
Yeah. It's funny because Michael has actually known my wife longer than I have, so they were work friends before I met her.
Yeah, I want to be there when this goes down.
I often get blamed for stealing him as a friend.
I mean,
my wife's like, he used to be my friend.
Yeah.
I'm still her friend. But I'm going to live stream that conversation.
Yeah, I want to see it. Could you have it on a Thursday night between 8 and 10, please?
Oh my gosh. I should bring my wife on the show.
Do it.
Ray would like you to be on the show just for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, he wants to talk about your retirement plans. Go ahead, do it.
You know I might be able to talk her into it, Ray.
Do it.
Yeah. Hey man, I'll take any help I can get.
He's not going to be on your side.
No, probably not.
Shit. Yeah.
Or it'll just be silence. And that's even worse.
So Dan, is there any one place you can think of on your bucket list that you just we were just talking? Is there one place that you have to get to? Would be the pinnacle of your paranormal career to walk in the door of?
Probably, I think it would be awesome to just have the catacombs in Paris to myself.
Interesting.
I mean,
that is.
No, I take that back. I would need a French interpreter with me and myself.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Because I would need somebody to be able to speak French in order to communicate with those entities that are all buried there.
Yeah,
supposedly, right?
But I thought all ghosts speak English. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
There's been some ghosts, investigators that go to the other countries and just say, to speak in English. You know that happens.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You've seen it. You've even seen it on some shows. You know, it's like
Yeah.
let's try to think a little bit more outside the box here, folks.
Well, let me know when you go. I took 4 years of French in high school. Maybe I can
All right.
figure some stuff out.
Say something.
As soon as they'll let us out of our own country.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Zit alors.
That's what Arden was saying. She wanted to come to Hinsdale, but the border between Canada and the U.S. is closed, so she couldn't come.
It's such a hard time for people to be able to do what they want. It's really.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, people. This is the time to research. This is time to read your books.
Teach
to
yourself
find
a new
places.
language. Just just work on you at home. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, and seriously, I mean,
Yeah.
libraries are open. Go to a library, find a book
Right.
on the place that you want to go to. Start researching. Start getting ideas. Start using that, jotting
Yeah.
down notes for the time when everything's open again and you can go, and then you have a good background to work with. Because
Yeah.
I'm sure Daniel will agree. I mean, we have all these kinds of gadgets and all these toys that we play with, but the biggest tool we have is the history of the location. And I know,
Right.
Yes.
I think we all agree with that, Dan.
The more knowledge you have, the hopefully better your investigation will be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And, working with Madison, we talk about Madison all the time. I noticed too, we get more interaction now that we know so much more.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not just talking to shadows that have no names.
Right.
Right.
Now we know names, and now we know people who live there, things that happened.
Yeah.
We can have conversations now.
Right.
Yeah.
And we will hit a word or a name that triggers something.
Right.
And next thing you know, my Jeff Fent box is going crazy, giving us numbers of people. And
Yeah.
every time I turn the damn thing on, it says, "Hey, Goose."
Hey, good.
There you go.
Just say, "Hey, Ray," right now.
Yeah,
Like
right.
on Facebook.
I got to work with my box now. I'm like, no, my name's Ray. Sorry.
Right. It's Ray now. Sorry.
It was like, who's Goose, and then it won't talk to me forever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Shelly was doing so much research while we were shut down. She learned, a lot of different things. And it's crazy because one of, in the caretaker's wing, we used to always get chest pains there. Not like heart attack, but like your chest was real tight, whatever. And then we learned that one of the caretakers had a wife that committed suicide by shooting herself in the chest. So that kind of makes sense now,
Mhm.
And
Makes sense.
so it was cool to put that together because,
Yeah.
it happens all the time.
It's nice to have the explanation to why we feel things or hear things, or But I mean, it's
that.
What was that, Mike? I'm sorry.
It's good to have that validation.
Right.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's good to have that knowledge.
It's too. I mean, think about it. I mean, how many people could have possibly had a chest problem going in there too?
Right.
Yeah.
How do you pinpoint just one? Maybe it's a collective group.
Yeah.
Let's try. Have you gotten any names there yet?
We get names all the time, honestly.
It'd be cool if you could find some records, of people that were there. It's so hard, but sometimes you can find like records in the paper of like people taking an ambulance ride or something like that to the hospital.
That's honestly where Shelly found a lot of the things that she's learned. The newspaper article that she found was where she learned about the woman committing suicide. And newspapers are so funny back then because it would be like,
they report on everything.
Mrs. Smith had her family in from New York. It was a great visit. And that was it. Like, that's the end of the little section.
It's funny too, because like when we were doing research for the Statler Hotel in downtown Buffalo, we were finding that the Buffalo News and the Buffalo Courier and local newspapers were not carrying the stories because they didn't want people to freak out locally. So they were trying to control the frenzy or whatever. But we would find articles like in Associated Press out in like San Francisco or other areas about the Buffalo Statler Hotel who committed suicide, who got shot. And it's like, man, they have to really scour all these papers
That's crazy.
to try to find more information. So
it tells you, man, there's information out there. You just gotta, spread it out.
Yeah.
We all need more time.
Yeah.
Seriously. Well, the Santoris actually had a lot of luck finding records and things in Columbus at the library. But we have nothing here at our library, nothing at the Lake County Library. But then, all the way down in Columbus, they found a ton of information. So it is just all over.
They're probably trying to hide it, just like he said, for the other things.
Right.
So they were putting, Madison's so small.
Yeah.
They were putting that stuff in there.
Right.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to hide something in Lake County. They're trying to brush something under the rug.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darren, you're correct. History is the best part of all the locations. I can't express it enough. Even when I do interviews, that's one of my biggest points. Like you could chuck all the spirit boxes, all the recorders, all the EDI devices, EMF detectors, whatever, out the door. If you don't know your history, you're not going to get the interaction that you're looking for most of the time. You might, I mean, you will, but the power of that connection with the history is super amazing, super cool.
I feel like there's a difference though, like if you have any sort of like psychic abilities, I feel like those kind of people don't want to know the history, just
that
because they just want to make sure that they're not being front loaded. They kind of like to go into it blind, so I understand that, but I am not a psychic at all, so I like to know history.
Right. Yeah. All right, I'm going to put this up there. She's having a hard time seeing the video, but she's going to try to watch it back later. She wanted to ask Dan a question.
Okay.
This is from Angela Burnham. So I'm going to go ahead and ask my question about the Bergen House, and maybe I can the Bergen House, and maybe I can watch the video when I get home and get an answer. What was it like working with Rob at a location that has such an intense channeling process, or an intent channeling process?
And she's talking about the show that I did with the Ghost Finders. We did a show at the Bergen House in Bergen, New York, and this is kind of to me, it reminded me a lot of Hinsdale. It's this house in the middle of nowhere with fields all around it, and a lot of ties to the land, stuff happening on the outside of the house. But Rob, who's the medium on the team, had a really intense connection with one of the spirits in the house, and it's for Rob. What Rob does is he lets his guard down. He kind of lets the spirits come through him in a way, and he was getting a reaction where we actually had to like stop everything that we were doing in order to kind of cut off the whole process that was happening right there. But he was kind of the spirit was kind of overtaking his body as we were doing a seance. And it was one of the first seances I had ever participated in. And I was feeling the table shake. And I was looking over at Rob and looking. It didn't even seem like I was looking at him. It didn't seem like he was there anymore. And it was happening. There was another medium across from me. Amy Perry Lane was there as well. She was filming on that show with us. And it was just really intense. Like she just wanted to get her story out. To put, and it really pushed the story forward of what this girl was going through, what she was feeling, and the sorrow that she was feeling. And it was I had to take a breather after that. It's not something that I've ever really experienced. I've been filming with the Ghost Finders now for a couple of shows, and it's nothing like that has happened at any other location. Where it was that intense. So it's definitely an intense location. It's got ties to the Underground Railroad, and some pretty bad things happen there. With some slaves, and it's sad. That's definitely like I think she said 95 acres that they owned there, and swamps all around it, and into just this house in the middle of nowhere.
Wow, that's spooky in and of itself.
Yeah.
But I've never been around. I mean, I've had things happen to me, like I've absorbed stuff before, but I've never been so completely out of control where, I mean, that's crazy. What's been your scariest experience in paranormal investigation?
My scariest?
Yeah.
I always fall back to this theater in my hometown, North Tonawanda, New York. It's called the Riviera Theater, and I was pretty early in my career investigating, and we had this whole theater to ourselves. And there are stories of a man that fell off the roof, a worker that fell off the roof, haunting the location, and there was a couple of people that had died, children that had died there as well. One fell off the balcony, and I was still after that personal experience. I was still trying to see something. You know, I've seen stuff out of the corner of my eyes. I've seen things happen, but I've never actually seen like a full body apparition that I could say, okay, that's what that is, you know. And I was up in the mezzanine by myself. The rest of the team was out on the stage, and then there was a couple of people sitting in the audience, and they were trying to do some like reenactments where, you know, come on out and bow stage left, and they were calling it from the back of the stage and trying to get a reaction to K2 meters on the stage, you know, and then people were clapping, bow left, bow right, and the K2 meters were going off on stage as they were calling it out. It was really cool. Yeah. But I was just sitting up there. I was sitting at the baby grand piano, and we had just the typical, you know, tools. We had the laser grid going. We had a camera rolling, and this mass just came out of the wall where there was an organ, and it glided. It had to have some type of mass to it because the laser grid was not going through it, you know. So it was really, I couldn't breathe. I mean, I was like, I took one breath, and that was it. That probably for a good 20 minutes, I was like, I know I was breathing, but it didn't feel like I was breathing. And I had the goosebumps, and I had the hair standing up on my arms, and the thing glided right in front of me, and I felt cold. Like it was sucking energy, like it didn't do anything to me, and then it went into the projection room, and I was like, oh my god, what the heck was, you know, in my mind? I'm like, this is what I wanted to see, but I saw it. I got up, and I literally got up and ran out the building, and I was in the middle of the street, and the rest of my team came out. And the guy that takes all the photography on our teams, I'm like, Louis, you need to get up there. You need to take some pictures. You know, I saw this thing, and I don't know what it is. And he ended up getting like the holy grail of pictures of this. It looks like a face looking down. The face looks broken, but it looks like it's looking down and checking us out, seeing what we're doing. And it's up on my team's page on the Greater Western New York Paranormal Society. Okay, but it was like just like an experience that I had never experienced before in my life. Just usually it's like, you know, when it's the first time something happens, it's more scarier. Now I feel like if that happened again, I might run towards it, you know, like, hey, what are you doing? Get over here. Tell me. No,
it's crazy that we have these like crazy scary experiences and we keep going back.
Right? Why?
You know? I mean, is it adrenaline at a junkie, or is it just? I mean, for me, I think it's just I'm trying to figure it out.
Right. Yeah, for me, I think it's the history. You know, I feel like there's so many people whose stories need to be told, and maybe I can tell them or figure it out, or you know, that's what keeps me going. It's definitely not the adrenaline, because that shit scares me. Okay.
That's why I always tell people too, and I tell like young kids, I go, life is so fast, and I go, it would really behold you to maybe sit with a Vietnam veteran or sit with an old person, maybe that's towards the end of their life, and just listen to what they have. They have so much to say.
Yes,
they have. It's just unbelievable, and the stories that you'll hear, those stories aren't going to be passed along to anybody, you know. And to be able to sit down and talk with somebody and hear what they have to say, it's like, man, that's history, and it's just going to disappear when this person goes away. Nobody's going to remember that anymore.
Right.
And maybe those are the stories that they're trying to get to us.
Right.
Yeah, it's like that. It's cool stuff. Go ahead, Denise. What did you say?
There we go. Sorry, my computer cut out. But yeah, it's like that movie Coco, is it? Where they talk about how you know you die twice when you actually die, and then when somebody they talk about you for the last time. You know, a lot of.
Yeah, your family memorializes you, and then eventually that memory fades, and then that's your final death.
Yeah. And then that's it. That's it. Yeah. These stories are gone. These people's names are gone. You know. I just wanted
to
hear the
history. I love that movie. It made me so sad, but I drive my kids. Obviously we're a Disney family.
Yeah.
But that's the one that I always push. Yeah. Believe it or not, we're Disney.
Is that your favorite Disney movie?
Probably one of my closest to the top favorite movies.
What about Mona? You don't like Mona?
Moana?
Moana? Is that what it's called? Moana?
Yeah. Moana. I mean, anything with The Rock is good, right?
Oh,
right. That's a good one though.
Moana. Yeah, no, I think my connection to what I do in the paranormal is one of the reasons I like Coco so much. I think, but just the story's good. I don't know. I drive my kids crazy every time let's watch a Disney movie. I'm like, Coco, do it. Like, not again. I'm like, well, then something Marvel or Star Wars, because that's about
right. Obviously,
for the past week and a half, my 9-year-old has been infatuated with the Twilight Saga. So we've been every night.
No,
Dad, can you come out? And then we have to watch an episode of Twilight, and she has the popcorn and she has the lights out, and we just sit there. And then she's getting, and when they do the kissing scene, she's like this with her.
No, that's good though. That's good. At least you're doing that.
Yeah, my 2 girls are the same way, and even though I think my youngest 10-year-old, she's a little boy crazy. I hear little things coming from upstairs talking to her big sister about certain boys named Marco.
Where does Marco live?
Who is this Marco character? No, but they'd still do the same thing. Anytime we're watching a movie and there's a makeout scene.
Does Marco know who her father is? I mean,
right?
She better.
Yeah. Are you going to get Ray? Or are you going to get the goose?
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get either of them, honestly. I mean,
right. Goose smash. I got a couple pieces.
It's 9:50.
Is it?
Are we gonna hit? Yeah.
Oh crap!
I know. So we gotta have Dan tell us what's going on.
Yeah. So what is going on with the Hinsdale house? What do you got? Where do you got coming up? I mean, I know you said because of everything going on, it's so hard to get involved in too much or travel outside of New York. But do you have anything planned besides? Well, go ahead and mention MadCon 3 and
MadCon 3. I'm looking very forward to that. I'm going to go do that event in Texas. If Texas opens up, I'll go down and do that event. I'm going to do an event up at the Wilson Castle with Matt Warner.
Awesome.
So that's going to be cool. I love what's the show Booze and Booze, right?
Booze and Booze.
Yeah.
So they were doing a show about 2 weeks ago, and I saw that they had Tim Schoon on, and Tim's a big paranormal supporter, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome that they have him on the show, So I started watching it and putting my 2 cents in and haggling them in the chat room, and he's talking about to him like where do you want to go and what places do you want to go to, and and he's not well off by any means, but he does what he can by watching the shows that we're on, by watching the YouTube, and maybe coming to some events that he can go to and buying books and stuff like that. He does more than a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, they said, well, hopefully we'll get to see it at one of those events. And I said in the chat, I started a trend, and I'm like, well, if you want to go to the Wilson Castle, I'll cover your plane ticket. And then everybody started pitching in money, like to that anything that he had a fear of as far as like food, transportation, lodging, any of that stuff. Everybody that was on that show really kind of it was awesome, and everybody pitched in a little bit of money, and
that's amazing.
Get into an event. So
I love it. That's awesome.
Cool. That's paranormal unity right there. Unity nobody ever talks about.
Yes.
And it was people from all different wakes of life, and it was really cool.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just became friends with him, I think, like this week or last week. And it is amazing how supportive he is of everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Seems like a really good guy.
Yeah.
And he deserves the help. That's really cool.
That's cool.
Yep. Yeah.
Good stuff. So
any projects besides any like public investigations coming up? Any writings?
I mean, we're doing public investigations. I personally will be doing public investigations at the Hinsdale House.
Nice.
My team, Awaken Paranormal, they're going to be doing some. Chelsea Gill's got a sold out one.
Wow, cool.
And then we're going to start doing, I just put them all up for sale. We're going to do every Sunday with Para Expeditions at 6 o'clock, starting in October through the middle of November. And then we have Uni Paranormal running the with John Griffin and his team running the paranormal events at Wildwood Sanitarium, which I just was at one of his events on Saturday just to kind of see how he ran things. Really good guy. I talked to him over the phone, but I've never got to meet him or his team. And just sat back and watched what he did and how interactive he made it with the guests. It was awesome. Great experience. And so they're running the tours at Wildwood Sanitarium. I also just worked out deals with the owner of the Lafayette Hotel, which is an old hotel that was built in 1903 in downtown Buffalo, that we can do tours at there. So those will be popping up. And we also have it's called the GLF Grain Terminal on the Buffalo waterfront, Buffalo Water. And we've had some amazing experiences there investigating that location. And they're opening that up for us to do tours with the public. So we'll be having those going as well. So 4 locations and tons of tours, and we'll definitely stay busy. It's gonna be awesome. And the locations will be open up for teams, enthusiasts, anybody that's interested in booking them. Check them out. You know, it's going to be cool. I mean, this is a 14-story high grain mill. You know, and we've caught pictures of things we don't know what they are. As far as like, but it looks like a face peeking out through the grain walls. You know, it's so eerie in there, and there's so much history. It's right on the Buffalo Canal, and just to think about like the potato famine and the Irish settlers that came in, and how they fought for work every day, and how there were accidents that happened to people in these grain mills. That was tough work. You're talking 200 and some pound bag, 250 pound bags of grain that they had to haul on their back all day long.
Oh, wow.
And that's tough work. You know,
it is.
You put us all up in there, we probably wouldn't even last a half hour. You know, These settlers were working all day, every day, just to get toppings to feed their family. And some of them didn't get work, and it got nasty. Yeah. So it's a pretty cool location.
Cool. Well, that's a lot coming up in the next couple of months, man.
I know.
That's exciting.
So, So where can people keep an eye on you, follow everything that's going on?
I mean, I'm on all social media platforms, you know, all the coolest ones. Periscope, Twitter,
MySpace,
Instagram. I'm still on MySpace. You can find me on MySpace still. I don't check that as often, but it's still a thing. It's still there. So somebody bought it and kept it up. So all pictures are locked. It's cool to go back and look at all your old pictures that you downloaded.
Yeah.
Remember how cool it was to have an interactive background?
Yes, and you could put
music on.
But do you remember how shitty the top 8 was?
Oh yeah.
You could put your top 8 friends. Yeah, that caused a lot of fights. I see why they had a downfall.
So my website's danielclass.com. You know, that's it. I mean, you'd be able to connect with me. I'm pretty easy. You Google me, you'll find me. I'll respond to you if you send me a message.
Sheila was asking if all those other places that you just mentioned are going to be on your website, or you're post them on Facebook, or what?
Well, I just worked the deal out with the Lafayette Hotel. It's going to be the deli at the Pearl Street Brewery, and the GLF Grain Terminals in Buffalo. So these are going to be new locations that will be available for teams and tours in the near future. We just booked the first one for September 13th for the GLF.
Cool.
Nice.
It will be on a national TV show in October that I can't say yet.
Very cool.
It will be cool. It's going to be an awesome place.
Awesome.
Cool.
And then if anybody's interested in supporting the Hinsdale House, we have a Patreon page, and it's really cool. It's interactive. I have like board meetings every month, or I try to. I missed last month, but we'll have like Zoom meetings with everybody that support the house, and we decide what we're going to do next, what projects we're working on, and I just keep everybody up to date on every little thing that we do. You know,
Awesome.
like I like to show people that if they donate, that their dollar is actually going to make a difference. We just put up a new deck on the pond, which is really cool because now you can actually walk out into the water.
Nice.
And do EVP sessions out on the water.
That's awesome. Wow.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, last time we were there, I don't know how recent it was, but you just put in those nice steps up to the dipping tree.
Much needed.
Yeah.
Much needed steps.
I still hobbled my fat ass up there, but it was a lot better than the slope.
It was a lot harder than the slope. Exactly.
Yeah.
I one time, the reason those steps happened the way they did is I was taking a group up there, and it was like wet still from like the rain, and I had my geo box, and I slipped, and I just I had the box up like this, and I was sliding down that hill. I sacrificed my body. I was like, no, nothing's happening.
Right?
No.
You know, the box was fine, but I had scratches, and I'm like, these steps are going in. I said, because that was something that I was saving for.
Yeah.
Put the steps in because it was like almost $6,000.
Yeah.
But I just did it, and then I just paid it off.
Yeah.
When after donations came in, I'm like, this is getting done. You know.
Yeah.
Because amazing stuff, man.
Yeah. At least it was you and not,
other people had complained to me, but until it actually affected me that way with my job, I was like, this is. I hear you now, people.
Yeah.
You're sliding down the hill. Just save the box. Don't worry. Awesome. Well, Dan, it's about that time. I want to thank you for coming on. It was a great show as always. Can't wait to see you out at MadCon 3 in September. So close.
We're so close.
Yes.
A few weeks away.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing to get out and see everybody. What else we got going on next week on the show? Talking about MadCon 3, we're kind of featuring guests that are going to be there. So we got Gateway Paranormal, who's going to be there. Matt Feel and Casey Boatwright from Gateway Paranormal. If you follow them, you know they have a really cool documentary out called A Voice for the Silenced. Definitely check that out on Amazon. Going to do a little bit of my homework and rewatch it so I can take notes and make sure I got the right questions for them. Cool. But we're super excited to have them on. They're going to be at MadCon 3 coming up in September. So it's going to be an awesome show. And we got a little surprise coming for you, Mike and I here, probably tomorrow at some point. So keep an eye out on Ray Gooseby page. No, it's not show related. It's not show related. This is a dark alley paranormal thing that we're about to work on.
Gotcha.
So keep an eye out for that.
See you tomorrow, Sheila.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go eat, and then I'm gonna through all the 57 people that shared the thing tonight, and I'm gonna pull a name out of the hat, and I'll send you the name so you can post it on your page, and then we'll just get that person's information, and I'll send them their shirt.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do that, sir. So let us know
for all the shares.
Yes, thanks, you
guys.
You guys kept us up at a good viewer total for most of the night, so we definitely appreciate that. And a lot of that has to do with just the man down there, Dan. Just an amazing dude. Thanks for coming on.
You are a special guest. Look at that.
You are. You're very special. You're special to me in my heart, man.
Very, very
love
special.
You.
Thanks. You all are special too. We're all special in our own right.
Right.
All right, crypto heads. That's another episode of the Cryptic Paranormal Show. Again, tune in next Thursday night from 8 to 10 on the RU Media Network, Facebook page, and YouTube channel. And we will have Gateway Paranormal on. So it'll be good. Everybody have a good week. Have a good weekend, and we'll spook you later, crypto heads.
All right, have a good night. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody.